Hello friends, in this video, we're going to talk about world history. Let's get started. World history is the study of major events, civilizations, cultures, and the interactions of human societies around the world from the beginning of humankind up until the present day. The scope of world history is vast, covering millions of years and billions of people. It encompasses the rise and fall of countless empires and kingdoms, great wars, scientific discoveries, artistic achievements, the development of economies, religions and political systems, and so much more. But despite its vastness, world history can be broken down into key periods that help us make sense of the big picture. The first period is prehistory, which is the time before written records were kept, roughly before 3000 BC. During this period, humans lived in small groups as hunter-gatherers, relying on wild plants and animals for food. However, around 10,000 BC, a revolution in how food was produced, known as the Agricultural Revolution, led to the domestication of plants and animals and the beginnings of settled agriculture. This allowed humans to stay in one place and grow their own food instead of constantly moving to follow animal herds. As a result, villages began to form, and eventually some would grow into larger settlements and cities. During prehistory, early humans also developed and used rudimentary tools made from stone and later metal. They spread across the globe, migrating to new lands and adapting to different environments. By the end of prehistory, humans had developed complex societies with their own cultures, languages, and traditions. The next period is ancient civilizations, which spans from around 3000 BCE to 500 CE. During this time, some of the earliest known civilizations emerged in Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, ancient Egypt along the Nile River, the Indus Valley in South Asia, and along the Yellow River in China. These civilizations developed their own writing systems, monumental architecture like pyramids and ziggurats, and sophisticated legal codes. The ancient civilizations of Greece and Rome, as well as other cultures like the Persians, Mauryas in India, and the Hans in China, are considered classical civilizations. During this period, many major world religions and philosophies also originated, including Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Confucianism, and Christianity. The ancient world was a time of great cultural and intellectual achievement, but it was also marked by frequent warfare and conquest, as different empires and kingdoms competed for power and resources. The third period is the medieval era, which lasted from around 500 CE to 1500 CE. This era is often considered a transitional period between the ancient and modern worlds. In many ways, it was a time when feudalism and manorialism dominated economic and political systems in Europe, while the Byzantine Empire continued the legacy of the Roman Empire in the East. Meanwhile, in Africa, powerful kingdoms like Mali, Ghana, and Songhai emerged, known for their wealth and control over important trade routes. In Asia, the Tents and Song dynasties in China and the Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan and his successors achieved great power and influence. During the medieval era, Islam emerged as a major world religion, and several Islamic, including the Abbasid and Ottoman, played significant roles in the political and cultural landscape. The era also witnessed the construction of magnificent buildings such as cathedrals and mosques, as well as the development of Gothic architecture. However, it was also a time of disease and warfare, including the Crusades and the Black Death, which devastated Europe. The fourth period is the early modern period, which began around 1500 and ended around 1800. This era marked a turning point in world history, characterized by significant changes in all aspects of human society. In Europe, the Renaissance was a period of renewed interest in classical art, literature, and culture, which paved the way for the Reformation, led by reformers such as Martin Luther who challenged the authority of the Roman Catholic Church. During this time, the Age of Exploration saw European powers like Portugal, Spain, Britain, and France explore and colonize new lands in the Americas, Africa, and Asia, leading to the exchange of goods, ideas, and diseases between the Eastern and Western hemispheres. The early modern period also witnessed the scientific revolution, which emphasized the importance of observation and reason in understanding the natural world. Thinkers like Nicolaus Copernicus and Isaac Newton made groundbreaking discoveries that transformed our understanding of the universe. The Enlightenment was another significant intellectual movement of this era, emphasizing individual liberty, democracy, and the separation of powers as key principles of government. Meanwhile, outside Europe, the Ottoman, Mughal, and Safavid empires rose to known as gunpowder empires due to their use of firearms and cannons in warfare. The early modern period was a time of great cultural and intellectual achievements, but it was also marked by significant conflicts, including the 30-Year War and the French and Indian War, as well as the Atlantic slave trade, which forcibly transported millions of Africans to the Americas. Finally, the fifth period is the modern era, which began around 1800 and continues to the present day. This period has been marked by profound changes in every aspect of human life. The Industrial Revolution began in Britain during the late 18th century and spread to other parts of Europe and North America throughout the 19th century. This technological advancement led to mass production of goods, urbanization, and the rise of new social classes. The modern era has also witnessed several revolutions, including the American, French, and Latin American revolutions, which challenged existing political and social orders and inspired the growth of nationalism and liberalism. The two world wars in the 20th century were among the deadliest conflicts in human history, involving the vast majority of the world's nations and resulting in an estimated 100 million deaths. The Cold War that followed these conflicts divided the world into two opposing alliances: the United States and its allies versus the Soviet Union and its allies. This period has also seen decolonization, the process by which colonies gained independence from their colonial rulers. Many African and Asian countries gained independence in the mid-20th century, leading to the emergence of new states and a realignment of global power dynamics. The modern era has been marked by globalization, the growing interconnectedness of the world's economies, cultures, and populations. Advances in transportation and communication technologies have facilitated the exchange of goods, services, ideas, and people across national borders. The rise of multinational corporations, international organizations, and non-governmental organizations has further integrated the world economy and promoted interdependence among nations. Additionally, the modern era has witnessed significant advances in science and technology, including the development of nuclear weapons, the internet, and mobile devices. These innovations have transformed the way we live, work, and interact with each other. However, the modern era also faces significant challenges, including environmental degradation, climate change, poverty, and inequality. Addressing these issues requires international cooperation and innovative solutions to ensure a sustainable and equitable future for all. So those are the 5 main periods of world history. If you want me to do a deeper dive into one of these periods or a particular event or civilization, let me know in the comments below. You can also ask if you want a summary focused on a specific region, era, or theme, like war, trade, or technology. Thanks for watching.